for a misdemeanor, there's a way you can get your arrest record restricted from public view for free. Don't get caught off guard this homecoming day weekend. From parking to apparel, we have the details you'll need to know.
Coming up, I'll show you what to wear to the homecoming events this weekend so you can stay warm and dry.
The cold weather brings an increased risk of fire. Coming up, team coverage to help you find out those risks and what you can do about them.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
I'm Tasia Harper. Increased risk of fire, volunteer firefighter shortages, and the fire trucks of the future, we have team coverage for you. Aaron Smay shows you what to watch for to keep you safe. Alex Rios is live from Madison County, where shortages and the fire trucks of the future, we have team coverage for you. Aaron Smay shows you what to watch for to keep you safe. Alex Rios is live from Madison County, where there's a new firehouse, but a shortage of firefighters. Tyler Metcalf shows you what it takes to save lives as a volunteer firefighter. Kat Hendrick is live in Oconee County with a story on how volunteer firefighters do the job there. And Eric Solorzano shows us the fire truck of the future.
So the fall is here and the weather has dropped a lot, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to be scared of fires in your own residential area. Halloween and Thanksgiving are rapidly approaching, and that means that there could be a severe rise in fires. Halloween sees a huge rise in fires for suspicious activities to go along with the theme of mischief. And Halloween sees many cooking-related fires. Surprise there.
Well, fire prevention never goes away.
Drought conditions increase the odds of fires across the state. Right now, 68% of Georgia is under a D2 drought.
We slipped into the drought conditions, level 2, level 3 drought conditions, which we've seen before.
The drought isn't the only factor that could pose a greater risk of fires. For the past 10 years, cooking has been the #1 cause of fires in the nation, followed by heating mishaps and carelessness. Holidays change these numbers, though. On Halloween, there's a noticeable rise in carelessness and suspicious fire causes, and Thanksgiving dinner results in a rise in cooking fires. For Chief Turner and his Rangers, preparation is a 4-season job.
Our readiness is meaning having each ranger on board, ready to go, their equipment, because you just don't never know when you're going to get that.
Hey, Grady Newsource.
A new fire station in one local county is looking for more firefighter volunteers. Alex Rios is live at the new fire station in the Shiloh community of Madison County. Alex?
That's right, Tasia. I'm in front of the fire truck's new home in Shiloh's Community's Volunteer Fire Department. This facility was able to be funded by SPLOST dollars as well as donations. After talking to officials, they are in need of volunteer firefighters. 50 years ago, Mark Perry started volunteering in Madison County's fire department. He says times have changed.
There's just a lot of things pulling at your time. People are busier, and it's very difficult to recruit and retain volunteers for a long time.
With the help of donations, by having a fire department near home can make a difference.
Having a fire truck within 5 miles of all the residents in Madison County. If you're more than 5 miles away from a fire station, it has a tremendous impact on your fire insurance.
And SPLOT, by putting this station in Shiloh Community, it gives all residents help with their homeowners insurance.
Person out there that's living in a house that's paying household insurance, if it saves $200 or $300, well, boy, that's money they got that they didn't have. So, but it's all because of this here, and that's what it's all about. Protecting.
secretary hopes people will go out and vote on the splats tax on November 15th. That will generate over $13 million over the next 6 years. He says that the approval of the tax could help make capital improvements in the fire services and keep insurance costs low. In Madison County, Alex Rios, Grady Newsource.
Thanks, Alex. If you're interested in committing to the hours of training required for volunteer duty to be a firefighter, contact Chief Butch McDuffie of Madison County at 706-340-0000. According to the National Fire Protection Association, around 65% of the nation's firefighters are unpaid. Tyler Metcalf looks at the training these volunteers go through to keep our town safe.
This is the Jackson County Fire Training Center. Before you fight any fire, you'll have to train. And here in Jackson, it doesn't matter if you do the job for pay or for free.
For volunteers, you still got to meet the same standards and the same training that a paid person would have to go through.
Francisco Ferrer has been a volunteer firefighter for 3 years. He says passing the training course is not easy.
Firefighter 1, you are going to go through 100 question written on the Firefighter 1, 100 written on hazmat. You're also going to do practicals, hands-on, for each one.
Once you learn firefighting basics, like how to work a hose, if a volunteer wants to move into a more technical position, they can take the Firefighter 2 course.
As far as Firefighter 2, it's a little more taking it into a supervisory position. You're able to do more technical.
All of that is set forth by the Georgia Firefighter Standards and Training. So basically, Georgia Firefighter Standards and Training comes out and tests everybody. So when you complete all the training to be a volunteer, Firefighter Standards and Training will come out and test you. And then if you pass their test, you become a Firefighter 1.
Once a volunteer passes all their examinations, the work really begins.
It's a very demanding job. We are available to the county for structured firefighters and any other aid that they ask.
Each volunteer wears a pager. So it's basically a volunteer is on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
And these firefighters can't do it alone. They always have a little help along the way. Tyler Metcalf, Grady Newsource.
Jackson County's fire departments run regular trainings in order to make sure that their volunteers meet Georgia's firefighter standards and training requirements. The training challenges and hard work to become a volunteer firefighter can make it difficult to recruit them, but there's an exception to that rule in Oconee County. Let's go live to Oconee County, where Grady Newsource reporter Kat Hendrick explains.
Across their 7 stations, just like this one, Oconee County Fire has nearly 180 firefighters, and nearly all of them are volunteer. Some of these men and women are career firefighters for other stations in other counties, but choose to volunteer their time in Oconee for 3 reasons. Take a look. Matthew Bays is a volunteer here in Watkinsville, but is also a career firefighter with the Gwinnett Fire Department, where he gets his pension. But for those with other day jobs, there's an incentive to volunteer.
For most people, it does help with their retirement. It doesn't particularly help mine because I do my retirement through my paid department. If someone that just doesn't have that ability to do that, they can come here and get their retirement through the volunteer sector.
So with no monetary gain, why does he choose to spend his off days doing the same thing he does on his on days? He says he just loves it.
I get to pretty much fight fire and serve my community. That's what I like to do. I like to help people.
The sentiment is the same for Kathy Adams. She says the station is like a family away from her family.
To me, this is one of the most satisfying things anyone can do. It always has been, whether I was paid or not. And that's because I love fellowship. That's a different way of getting paid, I'd say.
And where there's family away from family, there's home away from home.
We have nice stations. All of them have kitchens. We have sleeping quarters.
But the biggest pull Oconee Fire has is that it's one of the only counties in the state that provides its volunteers with the exact same amount of training and pension as staff firefighters. And while the pension may be nice, the training is tough. I tried doing just a few minor exercises while wearing their gear.
Do that. And that's not holding anything. Oh. Put some hose line on your shoulder.
Oh, please don't.
We also offer training. We have great equipment. So in doing that and giving our members something to be proud of, we believe that's what keeps them coming back and keeps them proudly serving the citizens here in Oconee County.
Training, passion, and friendship is what keeps these volunteers coming back to Oconee Fire every day. But a supportive community doesn't hurt either. Later tonight, they'll all sit down for dinner and share sweets and treats brought to them by community members as a thank you to the volunteers. If you'd like to sign up as a volunteer and maybe even wear some cool gear like you saw me in, visit OconeeCountyFire.com.
Firefighting is a dangerous career, and sometimes the effort they put into saving people's lives can increase the chance of cancer diagnosis for firefighters. Let's go back live to Oconee County, where Grady Newsource reporter Eric Solorzano explains how a 2015 SPLOSS project is working to reduce that cancer risk with one fire truck at a time.
That's right, Tasia. Firefighters every day risk their lives for their community. And here in Oconee County, firefighters can now breathe a little easier, knowing that their community is fighting for them as well.
Conscious of firefighter cancer and how firefighters later in their careers are developing cancer. So this
Oconee County Emergency Management Agency Director CJ Warden says that the new engine is worth the cost.
Truck will cost $494,558, so that extra penny on your sales tax is what's financing this truck.
Engine 501 will replace a 30-year-old fire truck, including more space to fit firefighters and a new compartment designed to reduce firefighters' exposure to harmful chemicals.
Here's just some part of the 60-pound turnout gear that firefighters have to put on that can be left with harmful chemicals like carcinogens that can cause cancer.
We have to make sure we're diligent about keeping everything clean.
William Horton is both a police officer and a volunteer firefighter with a combined 32 years of experience in both fields.
You get carcinogens and all kinds of toxins on your stuff, and we're a volunteer department, so once we get back here to the station, we always take the time to clean up everything so we can get back in service.
That's right. So essentially with this new clean cab design, what firefighters will do is arrive to the fire and put on their gear once they arrive there. Once the fire is put out, they'll take off their gear and put it in the clean departments that are in the new fire trucks. We're reducing the exposure of carcinogens to the cab. Reporting from Oconee County, I'm Eric Solorzano, Grady Newsource.
Thank you, Eric. A man accused in a hit-and-run accident that took the life of a University of Georgia student did not make his bond hearing today. Clark County Sheriff's Deputy Keith Wright told Grady Newsource that 51-year-old Eric Lee Stowers missed the bond hearing due to suicidal thoughts. Stowers is facing felony charges of homicide by vehicle in the death of UGA student Drury Shearling. Stowers is also charged with leaving the scene, hit and run resulting in serious injury or death, and misdemeanor charges of driving with a suspended license, failure to maintain lane, and driving too fast for conditions. Coming up, learn how you can get your arrest record removed from public view, and
it's really nice to see them have that relief when you bring the food, and they have that one day where they're like, okay, I know where my food is coming from today.
A local group that helps the hungry gears up for the holidays.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
If you've had a run-in with the law for a minor offense, you know it can impact your future. That's why you may want to take advantage of a program that starts soon and allows certain misdemeanor violations to be restricted from public view. Athens-Clarke County Solicitor General C.R. Chisholm is the host of the misdemeanor restriction event and says there are a number of results participants can see.
A person could apply and they could have a charge or multiple charges restricted on their record. And all that means is that right now everyone can see what's on their criminal history. When a charge gets restricted, it restricts access to viewing that charge by the general public.
The event will be held Saturday, November 2nd, here at the First AME Church on North Hull Street from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Members of the general public don't often realize that this is something that can be done. And so we're just putting it out there that not only can it be done, but these are the people that you would need to talk to about having it done. And so we put it all in a one-stop shopping type of place, and so they can come and get their record restricted. And if they can't get it restricted, there are other things that could potentially be done on their criminal history, and there are going to be attorneys there that can help advise them on that.
A few requirements to be eligible for the event. The arrest must have taken place in Athens by the ACCPD, the Sheriff's Office, or UGA Police. It's misdemeanors only. No pending charges or charges that resulted in a conviction can be approved, and you must bring a valid. If you plan on attending, make sure you pre-register by October 18th at www.accgov.com/record-restriction. However, if you can't make this deadline, make sure you register as soon as possible.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. Can you hear me? It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different
mic
experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
Testing mug 2.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
kill in a dig sound a little gruesome, it's not to 2 UGA athletes. In fact, it has put the two on a national radar. This was after the UGA volleyball team won against Kentucky, one of the team's rivals. The game was 1 week before juniors Rachel Ritchie and Kendall Glover hit their 1,000 mark in kills and digs respectively. A kill is an attack by a player that is not returnable by the receiving player on the opposing team. It leads directly to a point or loss of rally. A dig is when a player passes the ball, which has been attacked by the opposition. A volleyball player since her freshman year of high school, Ritchie is now a member of the 1,000 Kill Club, only the 18th and the first since 2014 to do so.
It was amazing during a game, especially at that point of the 5th set when it was really close, we didn't really know.
And Glover is now a member of the 1,000 Dig Club, only the 20th and first since 2017 to do so.
It's definitely a great milestone that I wanted to hit coming to Georgia. Defense, especially in SEC, is a huge part of the game, and I wanted to be able to contribute as much as I can to the team. It was definitely a great milestone that I'm really excited that I hit.
The two have helped the UGA volleyball team reach its record of 13-4 in its 2019 season. Although they only have 1 year left.
It was great knowing that I was able to hit this before I graduated from here. And hopefully I can get many more digs.
You can watch Ritchie, Glover, and the team play Sunday at Auburn University.
I'm Caroline Greger with your weather. Coming up, we're going to be looking at the temperatures that you can expect during the UGA Homecoming Parade and the game.
Hi, I'm Peter. There's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in. Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now, the weather.
I'm Caroline Greger with your weather. Tonight in Athens, we're going to be looking at pretty low temperatures once again. At 6 p.m., it's going to be 66, and by midnight, that's going to drop down to 51. Tomorrow in Athens, those low temperatures are going to last throughout the night and into tomorrow morning. As you can see, it's going to be 49 at 9 a.m., but then jumping up to 70 at 3 p.m. In Northeast Georgia, the lows overnight are going to be staying in the 40s for most of it. In Athens is going to be 44, 46 in Atlanta, and then we're dropping down to 37 once we make our way further north in Blairsville. The high temperatures tomorrow are going to be mainly in the 70s. We're seeing 72 here in Athens, 71 in Atlanta, 70 in Gainesville, and then dropping down to 69 up in Blairsville. Athens 5-day forecast, the low for the week is going to be staying throughout the 50s, and the highs are going to stay around the 70s. And the game day forecast, it's going to be 65 degrees during the game this Saturday, but unfortunately with an 80% chance of showers. I'm Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.
Is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome to our Thursday night post-show critique. I can see that we're missing a couple of people. A block was a little bit crazy. There were a couple packages that got in late. Quite a few, actually. So that's something to work on in the future. Let's see here. I didn't really write notes today because for pre-recording, everything went fantastic. it was smooth sailing. It was just once we hit 3:30 in that rundown meeting, that's when things started to go off the rails a little bit. One thing that we did not do is that there was a lead in the tag that was supposed to be pre-recorded that I did not know existed. And then we ended up not doing it because the show was a little bit heavy, so we just ended up dropping the story, so we did not have to do it live. But just in the future, like, that was just one little bit of communication that we skipped today, so just things that are weird, things that we don't normally record in a certain order, just give us a heads up, that way we know that we need to do it. Yeah, I didn't really write notes today, just because it was smooth sailing before, and then once 3:30 hit, I just didn't have time. But the package thing, please just get stuff in as soon as possible. That being said, given the fact that we had 3 individual live shots, and one of which was for 2 reporters, that part of the show I think went great. Yep. Big kudos to Alex for running her own live shot. She was in Madison County, didn't want to come back here, and we couldn't send someone out to drive to Madison County. So she ran her own live shot, so big kudos to her for being able to do that. She's been a volunteer and a manager for as long as I have, so we had complete confidence that she'd be able to do that, so big kudos to her. This is our director for today, Josiah. Do you have anything you want to say?
Sure. Thank you for the challenging show. A-block was a little rocky on my part just because I had some twitchy hand miss punches on the TriCaster. Our A-block was pretty big, but we got it done. Again, shout out to Alex for running her own live shot, and then our managers, Kate and Nate, yeah. They did a great job getting theirs up, especially Nate with the 2 reporters, but it was pretty good.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it there and let you guys get on with your post-show. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Live crew, when we did the 2 people live, I really wasn't, even though I had mentioned we should move the camera, we really wasn't sure that would happen, and it was not on my top priority list, make sure we do that. So the professionalism of the volunteer crews really appreciated that they knew to do that. But those guys have been volunteers for a while, so I'm not surprised, but I'm still very, very pleased. I did notice that, and this might have just been a twitchy finger thing because live shots all over the place, and the fact that we got the packages in late. And one of the things when we get packages in late, on our side, we always think, well, we got it in, right? I mean, it's in before deadline, so it's not really late unless they're like reading your lead and you're not there. But the reality is what happens when a package is late, everybody gets shook. Because if you're a director, you don't know what button you're going to be hitting. You don't know if you're going to stay on the, you don't know. And there's, there's adrenaline stuff that happens. So it does cause a pretty bad domino effect. But I did notice that we've been, and I've noticed this not just today, that we cut out a couple of packages early, like the last little bite. Is there something that we need to be doing to prevent that? Or do we just take this as a variance?
I think that was a bit of a variance. I think in one of the cases, it was just a fade out of the package, so the video started to fade, but the audio didn't. But I know in one case, the package itself was 1 minute and 43 seconds long. I don't think it was supposed to be 1 minute and 43 seconds long. I think
the one that I noticed was in Alex's. The guy at the end had had a really great bite. He said, "After all, we're here to serve and protect." And he went, "After all, we're here to serve and perk." And I just went, "Ah!" And hers went out early too.
I know Alex's was DDR1. That might have just been happy trigger finger on the take button.
And again,
but I know with yours that it was on playback, and the way that playback works is basically just like a music playlist where it just goes from one item to the next to the next. So I know that one rolled all the way through. It was 1 minute and 43 seconds long. I don't know if it was just like with, I think, Ashley's, like you came in and said, hey, mine exported, I made sure it was the right length because I know on Tuesday we had a bit of an issue with that with the work area. So maybe the work area on your Premiere project was just a little bit smaller than the length of the sequence. So that's just something to keep an eye out on. One other thing that I noticed that I wasn't actually going to bring up, but the aspect ratio on your videos.
Yeah, you've got to bring this stuff up.
Yeah. A couple of them had black bars. I know one of them had black bars the entire time. I know a few had basically square video in a rectangular aspect ratio. So just when you export, please make sure that you're exporting as the Grady Newsource 720p preset. And if you are editing on your laptop and you don't have that preset on there, please get that preset on there. That way you can export with that. Let's see here. Also with square video or video with a different aspect ratio, please just make sure that you find a way to either get video with the correct aspect ratio or zoom in or transform it in some way in Premiere, and just make sure that we don't have black bars on the side, or if you do, do that blurry picture in the background thing, like faded blurry picture behind it.
And what you can also do, like if you had, if you've got the curtains or the black bars on either side, let's say let's say you're doing fire video and it's in the wrong aspect ratio, you can put like, that, like the fire image, on either side of the curtain. You can do things like that. But I think it was Alex's package. We sent that through WeTransfer. That was one that had the wrong aspect ratio, and then I think Kat's had the wrong aspect ratio. Yeah. So we'll look at that.
I know Kat's did.
Yeah, it was. And
it might have just been the video input.
Okay, we need to take a look at that. But thank you. And again, if things, look, life is full of variances, okay? Variances are, you look at things that go wrong and you go, is our process wrong? Yes or no? So when I ask these questions, that's what I'm looking for. Is our process wrong? Okay, if our process is correct, then are people properly trained? If our people are properly trained, generally, then we've got a variance. We've just got a variance. A human made a mistake, or it falls under these, stuff happens. So you always want to fix your process and you want to fix your training. And the other, you just say, we did no harm. It's egregious when you harm someone.
If you have any questions about Premiere, I'm pretty good at Premiere, pretty good editor, so come to me if there's any consistent problem you guys are having.
Yeah, we've not had an aspect ratio issue, so I want us to...
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. I know we've had packages with black bars on some of the video, but not the entire time, so that's just something to take a look at.
Okay.
Alrighty, that's
Thank
everything
you.
that I have to say if we're finished.
No, thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Sure.
I also wanted to give a shout out to our volunteers. We don't shout out to them enough, but they did a really good job today. And also shout out to Kelsey for coming in when she wasn't scheduled to. She did great.
Oh my gosh,
You know
thank
what?
Kelsey.
I kind of do have one more thing. Hold the clapping. Hold the clapping. I have one more thing. And then clap for me. Oh, it's not for me. Okay. You mentioned something about a communication. So one of the things that we do is we give the rundown early. Now, that's not to say sometimes we don't change it. In my mind, I thought that giving the rundown early would show, oh, look, they're doing something different weather. I'm not saying we shouldn't give a heads up, because I think we should. Anytime we do something different, people get in habits. It's why you see newscasts look the same today as 50 years ago. Hey, let's have two people and then a weather and sports person. What? That's so different. Anyway, people don't love change. But is there a process whereby do we look at the rundown? I mean, if we're handing it, do people look at it, or?
Yes, normally we do. It's just when I come in and I ask, hey, is there anything weird going on today that we don't normally do aside from sports and weather? And I'm told, no, I'm not particularly vigilant when it comes to looking for that sort of thing. So it's just reinforcement kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and then the other question, we had an issue with the, we didn't go to Tasia for the anchor lead. And, today I was concerned that we, as a class, and not just our class, but the Monday, Wednesday, that we're not following the proper process or training the proper process. So you and I talked about, is the process to have everything on the rundown in this column, or is it on the script and we decided put it here, priority 1, then script priority 2?
Okay, so the thing is, those are used for two different things.
Okay.
The rundown is used for the rundown meeting. It's basically as a first checkpoint to see what are we looking for.
Okay.
That's for preparation while we're preparing for the live show. The prompter, we can't look at that while we're punching the show. The
Right.
prompter is for during the show, so we actually need both. If it's a full screen VO, that should be in the graphics column. If it's a video VO, that should be in the video column. And basically, that's just for us. What are we looking for? What do we need to get from the class? And then once we are into the show, we can't use the rundown anymore, especially because that doesn't
Right,
give us
well,
a specific
I don't know
time to
how
take it.
anybody would. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't. So my question is, we didn't read the lead-in. We didn't go to Tasia for the lead-in to Aaron's package, which had all the data for the beginning of our show. So I'm wondering, did we not? Was that just a variance, or did we not script it correctly? Okay. No. Why would you ask him? Yeah. So, Aaron, this brings up a really important point. Who's got the script?
There's a script right there.
But look at the script.
Okay. The way
Thank you.
we were
We'll
told
fix that.
is that it was going to go pre-tease, which was pre-recorded. Then it was going to go into Tasia with the greeting. After that, we do the pre-recorded umbrella lead, which I edited. And then after that, we go straight into Aaron.
Okay.
That was how it was called at the
Yeah.
rundown meeting.
Okay, so that was an error. Because you would never just go straight to somebody on your lead thing. Yeah, that
and
was an
for-
error. But does anybody have that script? Okay. So what happened is that script just had copy. It didn't say at the top of it, anchor, remote, Santa Claus, nothing.
Yeah.
So we can't know. So when I went into proof, I went, okay, there's anchor, printed it out, sent it with Caroline down to Aaron and said, this is the anchor lead, and he's just going to have to wing it. He's just going to have to wing his remote. And he had enough information, and you saw he did. He was very capable of winging. But, yeah, so I wasn't sure what went sideways. So we had a conflict between the two.
The thing that went sideways was at the rundown meeting, we called it, we go straight to Aaron, and then I was looking at it, we just had the script with no indication of who was saying it.
Okay.
So,
and by the time, when I printed the other script, it was 5 till, and I didn't give you a copy. Okay, so this is how, this feels tedious, but this is how you examine your process. And this is how you go, oh, okay, here's where it went sideways. It wasn't, you know, and the tendency for human beings goes, no, it was your fault, no, it was your fault, no, it was your fault. You know what? We got enough blame to go around. But what we really have is questions and examination of process. And then our next step is, let's train ourselves. So now we know, and this is a part of that, okay? So thank you.
Okay. Are happy to help. So you guys can continue with your post show.
Appreciate it very much. All right, producer, you had a rock'em sock'em time.
I sure did. And I'll just start with myself. Oh, I don't have much. Okay. So obviously, A block was heavy, and
I love the A block.
I did too. But I guess the issue that came in with that is I don't know why, because I knew that live shots always take a little more time than than you would think. So that was timing on my part.
How did that happen, you think? Because you got.
I don't know if that's the script.
This is yesterday's
Yeah,
rundown.
that's not it.
This is not even. That show's dead to me. Yeah. So when I looked at your rundown, you've got 10 seconds.
I know.
We got a double live shot out there. They got 10 seconds.
I should have padded more, to say the least.
Well, you should have given time. Really, you've created time for you to thoughtfully go through each and think, how long might Kat take?
Right.
Or what asset do we have? You know, how long might Alex take? What information does they say? Yeah.
Right.
And you and I talked about what the issue was with being able to be thoughtful.
And that leads me to my next point. I don't know how Tuesday went smoother than today. Usually it's the opposite, but that happened.
I'm not sure that did.
Well, okay, cool then. Thank you. But the thing that I really learned today was instead of trying to have my hand on every little thing or try to help people out, I needed to tell other people, hey, do this for me. Like, I don't know, sometimes I just get so in, like, the groove of, like, well, I can do it, so I'll do it. Instead of delegating things and kind of, like, I was producing the show, but I should have just been producing the show, not doing this over here and this over here. So that was kind of my fault. Again, I have notes like I did on Tuesday, and I'll just start with you, Tasia. Thank you first off for anchoring and getting a package in, and good save at that one point where you did like the little, and then I was like,
little what?
In the newsroom, I was like, good save. And of course we already
nice
kind of
job, you guys.
Yes, thank you. Obviously, great stand-ups or lives, and we touched on it, the export problem. I think it's just because sometimes people aren't putting the playhead at the very end of their video, and that's the reason.
Okay, producer.
Yeah, sorry, bye. Okay. And then Aaron.
I'm going to fix all the problems.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get through it. Aaron, good data and good informational stand-up. It wasn't too demonstrative, but you got a lot of information in there in a quick amount of time. Alex, she's not here, but amazing hustle. Like she really she was a go-getter today. And again, she's not here, but the order of one of her shots, and Kendra will probably touch on this too, was just a bit confusing, and me and Sam had, we had to kind of edit it a little bit to make it work. Tyler, he's not here also, but good B-roll. Some of it was a little shaky. I liked his interview with the guy in front of the training wall, but he needs to use a mic more. Kat, amazing live, just like last time. Good voiceovers. Your stand-up was cute. But there was an export problem, which we kind of talked when Sarah was in here. Sorry, last thing I'm saying. It was just a little pixelated, but we're kind of working through that. We're going to talk about that. Almost done. Eric, good live, great energy. You sounded natural, and you just had an issue with kind of writing audio. In the package, yep. Katie, I really can't comment, except I'm sorry that your package had to be cut because I know you work really hard. Ashley, I like the definitions that you put on the screen. Good job exporting this time. Only thing I saw was a few little shaky / sideways shots. It happens to the best of us.
Girl.
Forgot my memory card, had to use my phone.
Yep.
Okay, y'all? All right.
It happens.
Somebody will do their checklist
Caroline,
next time.
Caroline, you looked cool, calm, and collected while you were doing your weather. Thank you for helping out where help was needed. And I didn't get to see your package, so I really can't critique or give you any boosts about that. But thank you, team, for doing the readers like you did on Tuesday and today. And just overall, thank you, guys.
Digital, well, go ahead.
So we're running low on time, so I'd like to thank everyone here, but everyone did a good job. And thank you to the volunteers.
World peace.
I have some quick bit of advice for whoever's digital next. Both of the things I did digitally today teased to the broadcast, and both of them got cut. So maybe don't do that. Maybe try to do something else. So yeah, just advice.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, so I have a few notes, but I want to hear. We tried some things. Today I said I'm going to look at all the packages. That lesson was designed to show you, dang, look how late we're doing stuff. It worked. We saw how late we're doing stuff because it really put you all us in a bind. The good part is we caught some stuff. And the really great part is I had a chance to have some mini teaching moments with each of you that, I hope for the next semester, we can go from good to great now that you guys have got the fundamentals. But I want to hear from you guys what you felt successful about. Because it was a very successful show. I'm going to start with Kat, but let me say something to Nixon. Nixon, I got on your case because you were doing everybody else's job. And as I told Nixon, and you guys might want to remember this, usually it's the most competent people in a discipline who get promoted to management. They get promoted right out of what they're great at because they're great at it. But then they try to continue to do it because they're great at it. And then they don't do their job. What happened with her about the timing is there was nobody doing the producer job because she was doing such a beautiful job with everybody else's. And each one of you in your career will have to make that decision as you are promoted up. Because you're Grady grads, odds are pretty good you will be. So you want to look at that. It's a really, really good learning moment, and it's incredibly difficult. So I think you did a wonderful job producing. I think you have a solid sense of news. I think you have a solid sense of show and of television, and your technical competencies are exceptional. And I don't blame you for wanting to rely on those gifts and on that training. I don't blame you a bit. Don't ever do it again, though. But I thought you were terrific. Okay.
I think that mine went today. I felt good about my narrative, and I also tried really hard to write to the B-roll that I had. I know that I think in the first half of it was Caroline saved my butt and did the second half, so I haven't seen that yet, but I'm sure it was awesome. So yeah, I thought that I had a good flow with my package today.
Today, honestly, since we started, felt more of a win for me than we have in the past shows, and the fact that I was able to get the content I needed right to my package, get that written in time for you to check it, write it, not feel so stressed as I've felt in these past few days. So for me was just learning that I can do the things that I need to do.
Yes, you can. I feel like Thomas the Train. That's not Thomas the Train, that's somebody else. Ashley.
I mean, oddly, I feel exactly as Eric does. I just, for some reason, wasn't stressed. I'm normally a stressed out person, and I knew I'd be pushing it. My interview was at 2. I was there for about an hour, traveling across campus, but I finished my package exactly at 4:30, and it was about an hour and a half of editing. So for me, that was good. I'm proud of my package, and I did it in a quick amount of time. So I maintained my stress. Eric said it all.
I liked my fashion show. It got cut, so I'm a little sad about that. But I enjoyed filming that. I thought it was fun. And the other weather, I think the reason I looked calm is because I was really mad because I had to redo 3 minutes because I messed up so many times. So I think my calmness was actually just anger, but I'm glad it worked out.
Well, let the rage work for you. What did I say in the control room when I was watching the weather? Do you remember, or were you screaming at someone?
I was probably in my head.
Yeah, so I said, she's really good. She's very relaxed. She's very confident. I believe her weather. I think she said there's a heat wave. I believe it. No, you're really good.
Oh, thank you.
You can use your package for your portfolio, though.
Oh, yeah, that's going on the reel for sure.
It won't. By the end of the semester. No, not because there's anything wrong with it. I'm so proud of you guys today, but you guys are, I know the point where you are, and you're going to do some things that are going to blow that out of the water. I love it.
Well,
but
for next week, it will be on the reel.
For next week, yes it will. Yes it will. Sorry, I didn't know it.
Today I made an effort to, I don't know how or why, but for the longest time, Professor Cantrell, your methods were eluding me of you write and then you cut the video, because I've just always cut the video, and if I didn't like it, I would recut.
It's the European way. Europeans do that.
And it just wasn't getting through my skull that I should do it the other way, and like why, like the concept of it. It was a hard thing for me. I don't know why, but I kind of got it today, and I severely limited how long I gave myself to actually cut. So it was kind of hastily thrown together, but at the very least, I understand. You know, A goes to B now. So, baby steps.
Yeah. Building steps.
You don't like.
Katie.
So, I wasn't as happy with my package today compared to the one I made on Tuesday. Just because I just didn't think I had much of a character in this one. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I love the people I interviewed, but I just felt like it didn't tell the story as well as it could have. It didn't make it, so I mean that just kind of happens. But I learned the photo. I had pictures in the photo. There were 2 people in there that I obviously do not have their consent to have their photo on there. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I see why it's important for you to see our packages beforehand. And yeah, that was my learning.
Kasia.
I'm also with Katie. I was not proud of my package today.
And I came in with a really great story idea, but I guess I just learned that we're in the business of television, and everything that we do, we have to like trace our steps and be sure that we get like, even though we get consent, just like make sure that, you know, you always double check. And that's something that I didn't do, and it got later on in the day and closer to the show, so I wasn't able to tell the story how I wanted to. So yeah, that's what I learned.
Well, good, because Newsource is about learning. I think you guys are all in a really good place. And I'm happy with what I saw. And what you will find me do, every week I'm going to implement something else, just when you think, and I've told you all this, just when you think, we got this, yay, I understand what she wants, it's all good. You guys will get to a point where you'll recognize, and I hope you're already there, the goal really isn't to please me. It's just really not the goal. It's the audience. I asked Caroline today, she goes, what do you want me to write here? I go, I don't know. What would you want to watch? You know, and she wrote, and I went, oh, thank God I told her that, because what I was going to tell her was worse. This is so much better than what I would have said, because I wasn't going to stress on something else. I would have come up with something, but it would have been bozo-esque compared to what you did. What would the viewer want to watch? She went, oh, and it was perfect. We had to make some changes to Alex's story. She flipped her sound bites. I got to tell you, though, good example today. So I'm the quote-unquote executive producer. Now, I do what a lot of good executive producers do, and that is if somebody wants to stretch themselves a mile, even if I think they might break, you know, if they want to do it, why should I stop them? If somebody wants to do, you know, a package and a lead story and be their own live shot, you know, the humane thing for me to do, yeah. No, she did it by herself. She was her own crew. I know, yeah. Yeah, don't even close your mouths, yeah. But guys, here's the thing. This is a management error. And this is, as I told you, you guys will go into management. So management errors, as one of my engineers once told me, Dodie, you always stretch the rubber band. One day you're going to stretch it so hard it's going to break, and it's going to be bad news. Today, when Alex sent her package in, she had transposed her sound bites. She had edited them. You transposed them when you edited them. Like the sound bite where you had the guy talking about it's different. You put the sound bite in about the splost. And then when you were talking about, I know, right? Then when you were talking about the splost, you put in the thing about things are different. Listen, no harm, no foul. We fixed it. It's fine because I looked at it before. But look at her face. She has no idea she did that. You know why? Because the management team here allowed her to stretch herself to the point of incoherency. And that's on us. We're going to pull it back. You did a great job. You did a great job. But as a team, we supported her by looking at the package. But then Sam, you know, the volunteers support us, had to make the edits. I know you're looking like, how could I possibly have done that? Because your brain was overloaded, Alex. You did great. Kudos to you. Yeah, kudos. She's like, how did I do? Oh my, was I even awake? All right. Yeah. So we needed, you guys get really good. Today, Aaron, I direct this at you. I direct this at you, at all of you. But you gotta use your scripting tools. You know, the anchor's reading this, put anchor. Then there's going to be a VO, put that. Then there's going to be a SOP, put that. Some of you will write your own stuff, and you're really a remote, and you put remote up there and go, where there's anchor lead. Well, that's it. No, that's you. So get clarity on that, okay? The one thing I did ask was when you guys went out, what did I say? I don't want to see, though, the same people in your soundbite, in your stories. I don't want to see the same people. You guys were great, except for yours and Nixon's favorite person, and both packages started with him. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, great. Now we're on a first-name basis. No wonder.
Well, mine ended with it, and his started, so it was like even worse.
Yeah, so it was back to back, and I was going, oh my God, it's like the CJ show. Perhaps he should get his own cold open. Okay. Hey, guy. Yeah. So the best thing is you got to talk to each other. Okay, because psychologically people think, oh, I've already seen that story. A lot of wind noise in Tyler's mic. I like the little dog. Kat, what you were doing with the gear, I liked what you did with the gear. I liked what you did with the gear. I did feel y'all got kind of enamored. Was that your first time in the fire station since you were like in first grade?
My first time wearing gear.
Okay. Yeah. So it's all cool. Y'all, being a journalist is the best job in the world. Let me stop.
All right, that's our first show for tonight. Everyone have a good night.
Best job in the world. The reason